got his voicemail. I'm just waiting on a call or text. Okay. All right, welcome everybody. This is the January Disabilities Commission meeting. Thanks everybody for being here. We're going to get started. I don't see any, or let me take roll call. Commissioner Antonini. Present. Commissioner Azaria. Commissioner Gordon. Here. Commissioner Clark.
Present.
Sorry. Okay, so we're gonna just keep the agenda moving, and yeah, we'll just go from there. I don't see any members of the public, so I'm going to skip on from number 1 and 2 and move on to number 3, special agenda items. 3A, general update from ADA coordinator Blake Stavros. Thanks for being here.
Hi, everyone. Good to see you all again. Happy New Year. Yeah. But I just want to say thank you again for inviting me here tonight. It's a pleasure to see you guys anytime I do. I just want to share a quick update with what I've been sort of overseeing in the city currently. I want to start with funding. It really shapes what we're able to do moving forward. And unfortunately, the city was not selected for the Safe Streets for All federal grant that we had applied in conjunction with engineering and mobility over the summer. We got that notification over our winter closure. So because of that, Public Works Department is now preparing a capital improvements project application for the facilities and public right-of-way accessibility assessment. It's going to be part of this upcoming biennial CIP budget process. This aligns with all of the plans that I had mentioned to this commission previously last time I was here. It sort of just has a new name for the sake of this process. If included in the proposed CIP budget, the project would be brought before City Council for consideration and approval. This CIP application is a very key priority for me. At the moment, I don't have dedicated funding to carry it out, and securing that support would allow me to move forward largely move forward from largely advocating across city departments to actually being able to implement accessibility improvements directly from my role. Related to that work, the self-evaluation survey is still in progress. It has taken longer than anticipated, and the plan right now is going to be to release it alongside the broader accessibility assessment. Aligning those two efforts are just going to streamline the process and give us a more complete understanding of where both structural and non-structural barriers are in the city. I also want to highlight that the Aging and Disability Action Plan that the City Council approved on September 9th is in action. With that approval, the city committed to making public spaces and programs more accessible over the next few years. I'm currently working with the Senior Parks Planner, the engineering team, and Big Blue Bus to support and coordinate implementation of those commitments. With architectural services, I'm continuing to work closely with the city architect and project teams to ensure accessibility is incorporated to new and ongoing projects, such as the 19th Street Community Gardens and the automated entry door at the Housing and Human Services Office, which was installed at the end of last year. In terms of staff training, I'm working with human resources to develop regular accessibility trainings for city staff. At the same time, I'm coordinating with individual departments on job-specific trainings. For example, I'm providing the Aquatic Center with a direct training on accommodation requests and service animals before the start of the summer season. On the digital accessibility side, I'm working with ISD on website accessibility updates. Our goal is still to have the city web content brought into compliance by April. I know Jeremy and Faraz came last month, I believe, to give you an update on that. I'm going to be meeting with them in the coming weeks just to check on their progress and help them along where I can. Before I wrap up, I'd like to flag an upcoming opportunity for deeper collaboration. I would welcome the chance to meet with the Commission again in either April or May to have a more detailed discussion on that facility and public rights-of-way accessibility assessment. That timing would allow the Commission to provide recommendations to City Council ahead of decisions in the upcoming biennial funding cycle. To close, I just want to open the floor to you guys if you have any questions or have any comments on where you want my focus to be directed.
I'll start. Thanks for being here. We always appreciate it, and I think just we want to have this relationship strong. And first question, yes, let's figure out which is more strategic. Definitely want to get you in whichever of those months puts us in the best position to give us, you know, whatever makes the most sense. If April is more strategic, or if we need that extra month for May to gather information to make the most impact, let's work together and pick a date that's most impactful. And just as I'm listening to you, I just want to highlight a great asset for all of your work would be the ADA Pacific Center, the California Network of ADA Coordinators. I know in their resource libraries, they have stuff related to all the topics you just brought up. They may have a template you can draw from. And I know other cities around the state have engaged in some of these efforts, so maybe you can reach out to their ADA coordinator and not recreate some wheels. And yeah, we can connect if I can be helpful in that. And I just want to open it up to other commissioners. I have more comments, but just wanted to open with that. Commissioner Antonini?
Yeah, thank you. I was just curious, so it was, you said the Safe Streets grant that the city was,
Safe Streets for All.
Safe Streets for All. I'm just curious, do they provide any feedback about why why it was rejected, or?
So the member on staff who's from the engineering team who led that effort is requesting a information meeting.
Mhm.
Currently, I haven't heard anything from it, but I'm part of that team. So once I get more information, I can relay that to you guys.
Gotcha, thank you.
But also just for context, I believe on the website it said that 90-something%. I can't remember the exact number, but a large amount of projects were rejected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I imagine a lot of these programs are very oversubscribed, so.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll chime in again, just some kind of maybe easy wins or things we can make progress on while you're here. I think we can better advertise things like video relay services, 711. Like I notice other entities, like for instance, I tried to call into the meeting yesterday and luckily got off work in time to get here in person. But like even when you register to make a comment, like say, here's how you access the meeting with video relay services. Use 711 and your favorite relay provider plus a number, like other entities do that, just so people who are deaf or hard of hearing know how to access. It's clear and to socialize that. And also, I'm hearing, I was in another meeting, and I think the video relay services may start offering more services. I'm not saying it the best way, but you may be able to call into Teams or Zoom meetings. That might be worth investigating. Like if the offerings provided by video relay services are evolving over time with so much, so many Zoom meetings, so many Teams meetings, that may be a way to get people more engaged. And then also we talked about the Microsoft Adaptive Hub and accessories, but just always thinking about ways we can make your IT infrastructure more accessible for your workers and the community. I think there's some low cost, high impact there, but I think video relay services are really under tapped here. And we really want to get everyone engaged at council and in commissions. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
I have just another question. It's maybe not really, apropos of anything directly, but I'm just curious in your experience if there, are any other cities that you're familiar with that you would kind of consider to be like the gold standard for providing accessibility services? Like, I guess just who do we have to learn from?
Yeah, I think I've been connected with a good amount of ADA coordinators. I believe some people on this commission know, but I'm a resident of Long Beach, California, and I've met with that ADA coordinator many times as a resource. And what I've learned is every city has a lot more issues than they do solutions. And I think that's an aspect of being an ADA coordinator. Nobody has it right. Everybody has different solutions, and I think every city has things that we can learn from. As I said, Long Beach, I'm in contact with them consistently. I've contacted Hermosa Beach, as well as Pasadena and Chino, California. I've also made connections with people at the Fresno airport, just to name a couple of places that I'm tapping in and learning some lessons from them on.
Thank you.
You gotta press the mic, the RTS, that blue button. Okay, now you're Commissioner Azaria.
I wanted to know if you get like complaints or grievances from the employees about like not accommodating in certain ways? And what are you guys doing? Like, do you have a big department? Do you have other people who work with you so you can handle all those complaints and kind of orient them what is available?
So as far as accessibility goes, I'm the only person on city staff that works with these complaints. I have received complaints both from members of the public and members on staff. Your question was specifically about people on staff in the city, correct? Or
I pressed the blue button. I got it.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, so the number of staff that you have, do they complain about like they're not accommodated? I just wanted to know like the percentage of
not often.
not of,
I believe since I've been here for a little over a year, I think there's only been 2 members of the staff who have reached out to me. There might be other issues that they go directly to HR with, but HR doesn't share that information with me.
and where else you guys like advertise like when it comes to like employees or hiring more employees?
Where the city advertises job openings,
Yeah.
I'm not on the team for job
Okay.
hiring. I can speak from my experience of getting hired by the city that government jobs is a resource that I found to be accessible, and yeah, that's what I've used.
Oh, thank you.
I just have 2 quick questions. One, if you could share a little bit more about what you were talking about with this cool swim center, and then 2, what is the situation with teaching people with disabilities to swim through the city Learn to Swim program?
So I do not have too much information about the specifics of the programs.
Okay.
For the aquatic center education, what I was referring to was educating the staff on when people come to use those aquatic centers who have disabilities and ask for accommodations or come in with their service animals.
Okay.
There have been a couple of situations over this last summer where staff had been presented with issues and either didn't fully understand how to respond or just had more questions and wanted a better, more definite training. So that's why I'm going to be providing that training for them specifically.
I'll press. Just want to give another plug. I love ADA Pacific Center's Lunch and Learn, ADA 101, as a short, concise way. The feedback when I was the ADA coordinator I got from the community is I wish more people knew the ins and outs or the 101 of the ADA, and I would often share that video. And even interfacing with city staff and even, yeah, they don't realize how robust the ADA is. Title I's employment, Title II is the government, 3's public, 4's telecommunication. That's why I brought up video relay services. And then there's 5, which is a catch-all. I don't think people know all that. And then there's the government codes, 11135, which is more robust, has a broader definition of disability in the feds. And then there's all those other things we touch, public right of way. So I think if people had that 101 knowledge, they just see how there's a lot. And it's an individualized thing. Like you can have the same exact disability and need different interventions, different supports, which makes it challenging. Because when people would ask me, are we fully compliant? My answer was often, it depends. What did the individual ask for? There, you can't, it's hard to give blanket statements, and people like those blanket, so it's tough. And I just want, and also just, and I brought this up multiple times with in the planning stages for the aging and disabilities plan, is the count of people with disabilities. And I do data collection. That's one thing I work on a lot. And the census, the survey undercounts because it doesn't include all the disabilities, all the functional limitations. It only includes 6. Like, for instance, it doesn't have a question like other countries have on communication disabilities, temporary disabilities, episodic. So that's why the number that sometimes gets presented is so low when it's so much higher. So if we're making a disability plan and they think that number is like half of what it is, maybe less than half, it's tough. So I just want to emphasize that, it's usually 1 in 4 is kind of rule of thumb. So I just want the people planning to know that. Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people.
No, that is a really good point, and I'm going to be meeting with HR tomorrow actually to discuss the trainings. And one thing I'm going to be proposing is having accessibility awareness as part of the onboarding process. So I think that those statistics, those numbers you were just talking about right there, are a good general information that would be good to implement at that point.
So I just want to thank you again, and let us know whether April or May, or let's be in discussion, because we definitely want to have you back, and we definitely want to support the efforts moving forward, and appreciate you, and let's keep this relationship growing.
Of course, thank you.
Being here. Okay, I'm gonna move on to the agenda 3B. Because it's a new year and just things going on a more macro level, I just wanted to share that, kind of inform the resources I wanted to post. Just wanted to post how people can apply for Medicaid, or Medi-Cal, CalFresh, CalWorks. I wanted to have people one click away from the Benefits Cal website. And in the spirit, next month, we're going to have a presentation from CalAble, which is an acronym for the California Achieving a Better Life Experience Saving Program, which allows people with disabilities to save money without risking their losing their their Social Security benefits. If you have more than a few $1,000s in your account, you can lose your benefits. There's also a marriage penalty, so I think it's like $2,000 per person, but if you're married, it's $3,000 for a couple. So so this allows you to save money into an account, and the big deal is eligibility increased to your disability can start before you turn 46. But we're going to get a full presentation about this, and this is a resource the community really should know about and take advantage of if they can. So we're really excited about that, but they can also go to the website and if they're eligible, apply today. So I just wanted to share that. 3B3 is another big thing that was just implemented this year. Is it's the data delete request and opt out drop acronym, California Privacy Protection Agency. Basically, they've opened up the process where you can request to remove your personal data from data brokers. It's part of a privacy law that passed. I'm forgetting off the top of my head, but you can now sign up, request that to opt out of data brokers, collecting your information and selling it and things like that. You can sign up now, and I believe they'll start the requests later in the year, but more details here, but they've opened up the sign-up process. And I know data privacy, data security for people with disabilities is an issue we've touched on a little bit, but it's an important issue. So now is an opportunity to opt out as a California resident. So just want the community to be aware of that. 3B4, it's a great guide that's shared in some other circles I've been into. It's helpful tech for everyday challenges. It's from the National Organization on Disability. It's just a guide that highlights a ton of assistive technologies apps, and I like how it's presented. It's an accessible document, easy to read. So this might be a helpful community for the community on some assistive technologies that are free, some settings you can change on your phone, on your laptop, on your tablet to really turn it into a powerful assistive technology tool, and gives like a brief synopsis. So I just wanted to share that because I found it helpful, and the communities I've shared it with have found it helpful. 3B5, just transportation is a big issue, and this page has a lot of information around transportation resources for people with disabilities in Santa Monica, including Blue Bus. You're one link away from a lot, one click away from a lot of things. Mode, disabled tap cards, the LIFE program, which gives free fare for a number of rides, just a number of great programs to increase access to transportation. And then finally, just a link to the Los Angeles County Department of Public Social Services, specifically their page for senior and people with disabilities, which has information on their services, including in-house supportive services and how to get connected. So just wanted all those in one place as we're starting a new year, so people can be, one click away from things that might be helpful. Any questions about that? This is just resource heavy start in the new year, trying to get people one click away from things that are helpful. Alrighty, I'm gonna keep it moving. I'm going to skip, I don't think we can move on 5A or 6. So I'll move to 9A. We'll just kind of talk about it. 9A is the reports from ad hoc committees and liaisons and discussion and possible action on reestablishing and or establishing additional ones. We'll start with 9AI, Ad hoc Commission on AI Opportunities and Risk with Commissioner Antonini and me. In your packet, you have a updated draft. Just to go over the processes, at the last meeting, I tried to elicit feedback to email me by about a week before the agenda was due. I got some feedback, and I tried to incorporate 100% of it. May have not got it all, but I tried. So there's a few adjustments from the last draft from the last meeting. And we'd like to take a look at it, and our next step would be to submit it to council. But for the record, I want to just highlight that there's a comma needed on, I believe it's number 3 next to development. So definitely want to add that. But I just really appreciate all the work that went into this over many months. Lots of research, lots of critical thinking, and lots of feedback from the commission. So thank you, and I look forward to getting this to commission. And just wanted to highlight, in case city council or the community's watching, there's hyperlinks here. They're all clickable, that allow you to take a deeper dive, and this is kind of research-based, so you can dive in a little deeper into some of the stuff we cite. Any thoughts on the letter or comments, or sorry, Commissioner Antonini?
I just wanted to thank you for getting this in ship shape, and hopefully we can get over the line in the next meeting. I think it's in a good spot, and I mean, as we've been going through this, it's like trying to hit a moving target because things have been changing so rapidly, but it's good to, have some sort of artifact that we can at least present as a milestone to the city council.
Yeah, no, I appreciate your hard work. And also, this isn't the end of the conversation. This is just a
Right.
milestone in the process. And I'd also, if you look at bullet point 3, it's just, there's a hyperlink to the Disabilities Commission, and, over this process, we've listed a number of really good hyperlinks, so that's kind of getting a click away from all the stuff we post on each of the agenda that is just out there, including, maybe that's a good segue to, I just added, while we still have this open, a few more AI-related hyperlinks. So looking at 9A2, the accessible and equitable artificial intelligence systems, and from Canada. Canada came out with a accessibility standard for AI and posted it publicly. So in the spirit of what can we learn from other environments and adapt here, I thought this might be something interesting to look at. Also, there's some stuff going on at the state level that a colleague in another environment shared with me. Just so I think what we do here, it's good to know what's happening at the state level and the federal level. So this is an announcement from Governor Newsom about new initiatives to partner with tech policy experts and accelerate responsible AI in state government. Again, with a hyperlink to learn more about the governor's announcement. Number 4, the National Association of Social Workers put out something around guidance for social workers on the use of AI in social work. I thought this might be relevant just because social workers are the top number of clinicians that they provide the highest number of clinicians are social workers. So I thought knowing what some of the guidelines around AI would be interested to the community. And then recently, the Board of Behavioral Sciences had a listening session on AI where clinicians from multiple disciplines gave some of their feedback. And I bring this up because it's come up in the news about concerns around mental health AI and things like that. And there was a interesting session where you can hear from clinicians from multiple disciplines on what's going on. And again, just want to get the community and decision makers one click away from information so they can make the best decisions for our community. That was a mouthful and a lot of stuff, but just want to open up any questions or thoughts about any of this stuff. All right, so I guess we'll come back to this next meeting. 9A2, update from Housing Commission, Planning Commission, and Architectural Review Board meetings. Commissioner Gordon?
Yeah, because it was the holidays, they canceled the meetings. So there was a Housing Commission meeting that was moved. I talked to Chair Gordon about that. And I guess they didn't update it. So she said she was sorry that she... And then we, Chair Elliott and I don't know if this is the right time to mention that we attended the city council meeting last night. And so there's a lot of things that are going on. I don't know if you're aware of the fact that they want to kind of erase us. They want to, we discussed it a little bit about how they want to chop us. There's a social services commission, which I'd never, human services, which I'd never heard of. And I've never heard of them having meetings. I don't know. But what they wanted was in the Santa Monica Daily Press to take the Housing Commission, the Disability Commission, and this Human Services Commission, which would have been 21 of us, at least 7, and just completely erase us and combine it and eliminate most of the commissioners down to it just being 7 members instead of 21 members, even though there's one commission that I'd never heard of. So it'd be 14-7. And basically just, we think they're just trying, it's a backdoor way of just really trying to get rid of us and to kind of down our voices. So did you want to ask something? Like,
I can just provide a little bit more backstory, I guess,
Oh.
if you want. The Santa Monica used to have a number of other commissions. I forget exactly what all of them were, but there was one on like senior issues, there was one on women's issues, a few others, which I can't remember. But anyway, I think about 4 years ago or 5 years ago, the city council basically decided to merge them all into this new Human Services Commission. And they were originally considering also folding in the Disabilities Commission into this single commission as well. I think that one of the city council members, however, was pretty adamant about keeping the Disabilities Commission as an independent commission, and so that's why we survived as an independent commission. But that's a bit of the backstory. And as far as the the Human Services Commission goes, I mean, as I understand it, they've been meeting quarterly. I think that they've been trying to meet more regularly, but they've kind of, at least when I talked to the chair, this was maybe as of a year ago, they were kind of struggling because since they meet so infrequently, it's just really hard for them to get anything done. So hopefully we, can maintain our independence as a separate commission that, meets with more regularity and on topics that are more pertinent to those with disabilities.
Yeah, because there was somebody who helped me with some advice before I saw Chair Elliott that said that he and his wife actually fought for Disability Commission to be standalone. And then that's what Chair Elliott said, that it should be standalone. And, but then also the Housing Commission is very important too, that it should be. So what I did do is that Chair Elliott was great, he's my first time at the rodeo, and told him it. And then I also said, it would be nice if the manager, she actually showed us the respect and the dignity to show up to our meeting and introduce himself. I thought that was really nice, and he was here last night, so I thanked him for that. And then what I had said to the members of City Council was, we are meeting in this very room tomorrow at 6:30. It would be really nice if you could attend. And obviously they didn't, but at least, it puts them on the spot to at least say, hey, look, the meeting was pretty interesting. There were quite a few people that are upset with City Council about all the housing that's going up. So it's good to see some life in that, they didn't seem to take the members of the public very seriously, or us very seriously. So.
What happens in the other cities? Like, do they have disability commission and then they let them stand alone, or?
Yeah, there's a LA County Commission on Disabilities, and LA, like San Francisco, like a lot of, sometimes they have different names. They might be a Disability Advisory Council, but cities tend, I think Culver City has one, like cities tend to have a advisory council specifically for people with disabilities. And they often, ADA coordinators often work with these advisory councils to, because the ADA is such a robust law, they really want feedback from the community. Like for one example with the new website rules is they really want people who use screen readers, who use braille displays, who use all sorts of assistive technology to test it out for free from the community. And these disability advisory are willing, want to make it better for all citizens. So that's just one example of, the cities really benefit a lot from them. But let me pass it on to Commissioner Antonini.
Yeah, I mean, I guess one thing I'll maybe say is I think it is, important for us as a commission if, I think it's important that the commission remains independent, and if, we want to advocate for that, I think that probably the best thing we can do is, make sure that the commission is filled and that, like, we meet quorum, because, if we're regularly not meeting quorum, it's kind of hard to go to city council and say, yes, we should be an independent commission if we can't actually fulfill the requirements of being an independent commission. So I think it is, you know, important that we make sure that, you know, the seats that we have are filled by people who are, you know, regularly attending most of the meetings. Because we currently have only one vacancy, which is reserved for, you know, someone who self-identifies with a disability. But even still, you know, we're either on the border of meeting quorum or not meeting quorum. So that's, I think, a challenge for us.
Yeah, I would also add to that, it's, you know, with the Senate bill that passed, sometimes people are not attending because there's not a virtual option. And again, when I've met with ADA coordinators, that is definitely like a major, and going back years when we've been one seat away and multiple members would have signed in video because they have disabilities that prevented them from coming in person, and this is a disabilities commission. But I want to, you know, be hopeful and looking forward with the new Senate bill. I'm confident they'll appoint this seat, and I think we'll be there. But let me pass it to Commissioner Gordon.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so we did not make quorum tonight, right? And do we need 7? 6, so we're one. Yeah, I have to respectfully object to that, there are people who are obviously not, you know, maybe there's one person who may have a tough time, but the rest of the people have regularly not, like the Commissioner Wen, or we've only seen her one time when she was sworn in, and then we haven't seen anything. I, quite frankly, am very concerned that, you know, there are obviously quite a few people who just don't take this seriously. I don't think, you know, I know you're trying to be understanding and saying that, you know, maybe they have a disability they can't attend, but they don't. I mean, they have the ability to attend. And I'm just worried that they're going to drag us down because they don't take their appointment seriously. And then if we are erased as a commission and, you know, we don't have a voice. I do want to say also the city of Berkeley was the Center of Independent Living. I think they were the first to probably establish a disability commission. But I'd like to maybe respectfully request, Chair Elliott, that maybe you send them an email, and, you know, a generalized email saying it's very important for you to attend, and if you're going to miss so many meetings, then, you know, we need people who are serious about this, because I'm just worried if we're going to get erased, that I mean, it gives, you are right, it gives city council a perfect excuse to get rid of us. And so I think it might be a good idea to send out an email impressing them upon them. So if you don't take it seriously, then open it up for people who can. I just really think that's important. I'm really worried about all the buildings that are going up. There's no units that we know that are ADA approved. They're still doing off-site affordable housing. So we need to stay in here. And I think you're right, Chair Elliott, that the ADA thing is the one little tool, the power tool we have in our toolbox, you know, force Santa Monica to at least get these, you know, slow these developments or get them to do some apartments within these monoliths that are actually ADA approved, you know, like the bathrooms and like that. So thank you.
Commissioner Zaria?
I just wanted to ask if other commissions, can they attend the meeting virtually? Because I had a medical condition, so I couldn't come. I'm still under the treatment, so I was just wondering, other commissions are allowed to virtually attend the meetings?
My understanding is there is a process, but staff, if you could provide clarification.
Sure. At the current time, no. The short answer is no. There is no remote participation for any of the other boards and commissions as far as I'm aware of. I sit in on 5, and the only experience that I have is for reasonable accommodation cases that are filed with the city through human resources, and potentially somebody who completes that process, not potentially, somebody who does complete that process is able to join remotely. But as a general standard at the current time, the answer is no. There's no remote participation. Now, as Charlie has mentioned, there is a Senate bill that recently passed where that rule is falling away. So as the city clerk with this city and other cities kind of determine how best to implement people joining remotely, or in a hybrid environment, I should say, soon that'll be coming online. Now, what is soon? I'm not too sure. I can't provide that, but that is something that's top of mind for certainly the city clerk, for myself, and particularly in matters where we have issues reaching quorum. This is not the only commission or committee that has that issue. It is top of mind for everybody, and we want to have a full, robust meeting every time. And you know, maybe we need to think about how to do that faster. But I completely understand your sentiment and your question there.
Yeah.
How about the
sorry, go
public?
ahead.
How about the general public? I mean, if there is a virtual option, I think more people will participate in the meetings.
So on the published agenda, folks can call in with public comments. People can stream online on YouTube. They can't participate live in that regard, but in terms of the public viewing and participating live during the meeting, the only option right now is a call-in feature for public comment, if they choose.
I saw more participation during the pandemic where there were more people.
Yes. So
Like,
really briefly on that, it's an issue. Issue is a tough word. The predicament is the hybrid component. So it's a lot easier in many ways to do a completely online meeting with online participation from guests and from the public and from commissioners than it is to do a hybrid meeting where there's a portion in person, a portion online, and we're trying to figure that out, particularly with just myself as the in-between. So I think that's maybe one of the areas where we need to sort out. But again, it is top of mind for the city clerk's office and for me.
thank you.
Commissioner Gordon?
Thank you. Yeah, because, that's what I was just thinking is I know that last night, the city council meeting, why we couldn't just set it up to where they could just call in. You're saying that we can't do that? No. Now, why is that?
No, I didn't say that.
Oh.
Folks can call in and submit public comment.
No, I mean the commissioners. That doesn't necessarily have to be virtual. If they could do the thing where they could just call in. You know, like the public does. Because virtual means that they'd have to, we'd have to see them, it would be visual, right? I mean, I'm just wondering with the city council, when they have public comment, why the various commissioners just can't call in, you know, and use whatever, I think that code, at least as far as audio goes, they could attend it that way, and then they can at least call in and, I guess, put the code in.
That might be coming down the pike, but in terms of putting that into practice and having an effective meeting, I think it would be challenging to have several members of a commission participate in a meeting that way. When it comes to votes, when it comes to presentations, when it comes to having a discourse with other commissioners.
Yeah.
And I just want to also get on the record, we've had ad hocs on a virtual option hybrid meetings with suggestions from other environments. That I've attended, that do this for years, and that has been the difference between quorum and not quorum. So I just, on the record, but we're gonna get there. There's a Senate bill, we'll get there, and I want to look forward, and I think we'll get there. And that's going to be really exciting, like Commissioner Azari said, is during the pandemic it's not just for us, I want people with disabilities from the community to call in and give their insights. And I think that's where I think we'll see the hopefully the biggest uptick is getting multiple community members with disabilities to say, what's going on, this is what we want you to focus on, this is where you're hurting the mark, here's where you can improve. Like, I would like more of that feedback that we haven't had as much since when I first started, when we were in Wise and Healthy Aging, we had a pretty robust people show up, and in the pandemic, sometimes virtually, but I'd like to get that back. And I think in looking at other commissions like LA County and the city, like, people call in and give great feedback that would help the city and city staff better support people with disabilities. So that makes me hopeful that we'll get more feedback from the community per the regulations in the Senate bill. I think we had a pretty good conversation. Thank you for your work on the giving us updates from the Housing Commission and your diligence and hard work on this. And I'm going to move us to 9A3, report from the Santa Monica Website Quality Assurance Review Ad Hoc. Commissioner Antonini.
Yeah, I don't think that there's any updates here. I think Vice Chair Reckfeld is kind of taking the lead on this. I haven't heard any updates from him on the status of this yet.
Yeah, and I just, there's Commissioner, I know Royale is also out. Okay.
I apologize. There's a typo underneath that as well, listing other commissioners. That is for a separate potential sunsetting of the annual.
Oh,
work
okay,
plan.
that's
So
where I was getting confused. Okay,
apologize.
no worries, no worries. Okay, so I'll mention those in the other one. Okay, I was thrown off by the listed commissioners on this item. Okay, we'll table 9A3 for next meeting. 9A4, just briefly, in our letter, and in something we've talked about a little bit, is having a public hearing. So that's something I'd like to establish sooner than later. So I'll be bringing that up again. So think about if that's something you may want to be a part of. And I believe we're targeting the official date for our June meeting, which I have in the letter. June 10th is what we're targeting for a public hearing, which is in our charter. So think about it, and I'd like to get that started next meeting and give us ample time to do something really good. And also just at the next meeting, I'd like to just get clarity on just the results or what's going on with the study session and boards and commissions, because if there is going to be a consolidated housing and human services commission, I think when that kicks off, which my understanding is July, we really need a liaison there. That's what I heard from the study session, is that's someone we really want to partner with. So think about if that's something you may be interested in. Commissioner Gordon?
I'm sorry, what did I must have missed that from the meeting. What did they say?
So in the recommendations was a Housing and Human Services Commissions beginning July of next year. So when that's established, I'm thinking we should definitely have a liaison for that commission. So I'm just thinking down the road, and just trying to get people thinking about it.
But isn't that the one that just met quarterly or something like that?
No, this would be a new commission that begins July of next year. Maybe you can,
Sorry.
I'm getting ahead of myself
No,
possibly.
that's okay. I just want to clarify the work plan, the comprehensive report that was discussed proposed July 2026. So this year, that would be this year.
Yeah. It's January. Yeah. Uh, So, in sick, I think we should get an update next meeting, just like on, there's a lot of chaos with boards and commissions, just kind of level set where we are, what the roadmap is ahead. So we can be in the best position for July 1. And how we can be an asset to the community as a standalone disabilities commission, position ourselves. And especially, again, April, major expansion of the ADA, July 1, major changes to the behavioral health system. So this is kind of like a real transition phase, and it's a good opportunity to regroup, get organized, and like put ourselves in great position for July 1. So I want to strategize like that a little bit. And again, just think about your passions, what you want to work on. Any thoughts, or should I keep it moving?
I know that, I was gonna be a liaison to the Recreation and Parks Commission. Do we need to like email them first for permission, or how does that work? Do we just attend the meeting as a member of the public and then just come back and report, or?
And I can chime in. So I'd encourage to do both. Maybe just shoot an email to the chair. It's public information, or maybe our liaison can give you the contact. Shoot them an email so you're the liaison for the Disabilities Commission and attend. And I think you can sign up to get like a digital version of their agenda. Like I know you can do that for our commission. Reviewing that and attending and bringing some insights that are relevant to our commission. And you can always publicly comment as yourself, or if we agendize something here, you can then bring it to that. I want to stay in the guardrails, but I'd say both.
Thank you. Sorry, I didn't.
Oh, no, this is tricky. Okay, I'm gonna go to 9A5. Discussion and possible, I kind of combine 4 and 5, but action on establishing liaisons for Santa Monica boards and commissions. We kind of talked about this, just thinking ahead for July 1, think about your passions. Yes, for both approaches for the recreations commissions. And I'm going to keep it moving to our next item, 9A6. Discussion and possible action on sunsetting the 25-26 annual work plan completion ad hoc, and that's where Commissioner Antonini Azaria Royale and Vice Chair Rockfeld worked on. We submitted our work plan. In fact, they got a copy of it yesterday and reviewed it, and it was pretty robust, so great job. And we'll officially sunset that at our next meeting, but just again, kudos. And if you look at the staff report from yesterday's council meeting, you'll see a copy, and it's been posted on previous meeting agendas. Yeah, did I not mention you? Sorry about that. Oh no, I'm mixing up the stuff in the parentheses. Sorry, we'll fix these typos for the record. Okay, so I'm going to keep us moving to our last item of the agenda, future agenda planning. We have some kind of confirmed stuff, just want to reiterate. Next month, we have the CalAble presentation. My understanding is March, we have the Chief Resilience Officer, which works on emergency services, disaster relief type topics, a key thing. And per our presentation earlier in April or May, we want the ADA coordinator back. So we got a full 3 the next few months, but again, I want to open it up for more ideas.
One thing I saw too is that the city hired a new director of housing and human services, so we might want to invite her, start that relationship.
No, great idea. I'll shoot an email. And, also, Staff, can you help bridge that connection? We'd love to connect with her. I know she's just started, but
Certainly, I will. Aileen Reynolds is her name. Started on this past Monday, so she's 3 days in. Excited about it. Recently relocated from New York City, and is eager to meet folks. So I will help make that introduction to the committee.
excellent, thank you. I know May is a mental health month, so that might be something to consider. We've often given feedback or written the proclamation and come to city council and done that. And sometimes we've had presenters on the topic of mental health come in. So I think that's a good thing, especially with all the things coming into play July 1. Maybe we can have someone inform the community on what Santa Monica, LA County, California mental health is going to look like July 1. So I can start to work on that. And maybe, Thomas, we can think about who from the city could, let's think about it. Maybe it could be some sort of multiple people talking, but I think mental health is big right now with all the changes. So maybe that could be May. Maybe we'll have 2 speakers, maybe the ADA coordinator and mental health, depending on what's best. I know we've talked about other stuff. I'm just drawing a blank. Commissioner Azaria?
Yeah, I can't say enough about mental health. I mean, I know that, I don't know how, like 3 years ago, I went to city council and received the proclamation. And I've looked at it in the different libraries and see if they have information about mental health clearly posted, different flyers and resources. I don't know, I can still look up and see what else can be done, to bring out those resources and like make it public.
That would be great. Maybe we can take a deeper dive into it next month and start to get some more concrete plans about what a May agenda item or presentation could look like. But I think that's really timely and topical, and just a big piece of the July 1 changes are the merging of behavioral health or mental health and substance abuse services. So there's just a lot of changes. So I think bringing them to the community's awareness will be key.
I think
Commissioner Antonini?
Yeah, one other thing I've been thinking about, my thoughts are still kind of ill-formed here, and maybe this will be a topic for an ad hoc. I've been kind of concerned about the like budget outlook for both the city and the state for the next like couple of years. And so kind of given that there might be some like fiscal tightening over that time period, I'm just kind of wondering how we as a commission might be able to provide input on that. Like, what are the absolute top things that like should be prioritized if there are, any budget cuts that the city is looking to make. So nothing like concrete or fully formed at this point, but that's just something that's been on my mind.
I think that's great. In the past, commissioners have done advocacy at the state level and things, and giving feedback on the budget is right in our wheelhouse. So I think that's a great idea. As it develops in your mind, bring it back and we can figure out how to make it happen, whether it's an ad hoc or trying to bring in the right speakers or subject matter experts on it.
Yeah, thank you.
And then just looking, wow, we're already in 2026, but looking at July again, another another disability month type thing. that we established this year, where we had the proclamation and really doing something during that month. There's a anniversary of the ADA. Maybe we can do some on the ADA or some, but I think we should definitely do something like that in July. Yeah. So just to recap, we have something next month, March. We have something April or May. We have an idea for mental health for May. June, we're doing our public hearing. July, we're doing disability. So we can have more than one thing in a month, but we have stuff, so that's good. And moving forward, I hope we start to have like a pipeline of things and ideas, which we're starting to do. And again, we have all this stuff on our work plan that we also want to give feedback. And I know after April, when this new rule drops, there's going to be some stuff we're reacting to. I mean, it's so big. Did you want to chime in there?
Just a shout out for, this meeting happens regularly every second Wednesday of the month, same time, 6:30 p.m., council chambers. For anyone viewing online, please feel free to come. Please feel free to submit public comment, call in. We're here to hear you. That's what we've talked about tonight, and we desire that participation. So we're here, and we just want to make clear the second Wednesday of the month at 6:30. We'll be here for you.
Appreciate that, and we're looking forward to a virtual option, make it even more accessible to you. I want to just give one last opening. Any thoughts about future items? And again, just you guys can email me whenever, just your thoughts on stuff. So because sometimes like on the spot it doesn't come, or you forget or whatever, or there's something that came up months ago and you forget to bring it up now. So you guys have my email, so you can. That's another way. Commissioner Antonini.
Yeah, I forgot to mention, I did also email the Lewis Center at UCLA. I didn't hear back from them, but I did discover there was so they have the Lewis Center. It's like a division, I don't know exactly what you would call it, within UCLA, where they focus on regional policy. So there's a lot of like housing policy, transportation policy, and that sort of thing. So a lot of it intersects with disability issues there. But they also have this podcast, and so they did have an episode where they brought in an expert on disabilities issues. I discovered this after the deadline for this agenda, so I couldn't send it to you. Yeah. But for next month, I'll be sure to send the link because it is really interesting. I highly recommend it. And yeah, I just wanted to also just thank you for your work and keeping the pipeline filled and getting speakers for all these meetings. It's not easy to do. So thanks.
Appreciate that. And please send me that podcast, and also inviting the public if you're watching. I think we want to curate stuff that's helpful. So if you have like a great resource, feel free to send it my way, and we'll try and get it on the agenda so the entire community, city council, and staff are one click away from stuff you find useful. And invite my commissioners as well. So got an open line. That being said, I think I'll move to adjourn the meeting, and just want to thank everybody for being here today, and we'll keep it moving forward. Thanks.